Science fiction author Jules Verne said, "I believe that water will one day be employed as fuel, that hydrogen and oxygen, which constitute it, used singly or together, will furnish an inexhaustible source of heat and light, of the intensity of which coal is not capable. Water will be the coal for the future." What Jules Verne said about water in 1874 is coming true after 145 years. Hello and welcome to the Times of India Gold podcast. I'm your host, Asma Rafat. And today we will talk about how water is becoming the future fuel. A growing number of countries have pledged to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2050 to limit rising global temperatures to 1.5 degrees Celsius. And that quest for clean energy is driving countries to adopt carbon-free fuels like hydrogen. Hydrogen seems the ideal fuel for a sustainable energy future, since it has zero emissions and is versatile, is storable and safe. It has the potential to power carbon-intensive industries and fuel automobiles and power our homes. China, European Union, India, Japan, South Korea, and the United States are adopting policy initiatives and advanced technology to make green hydrogen. In India, Prime Minister Modi announced the National Hydrogen Mission policy in 2021. By 2030, India aims to produce 5 million tons of green hydrogen per year and establish itself as an export hub. But this production target is half that of European Union, which plans to produce 10 million tons of hydrogen from renewable energy by 2030. China too has promised over $217 billion to invest in hydrogen-powered transportation by 2023. So what is green hydrogen? Green hydrogen is a carbon-free fuel made from renewable energy sources such as wind and the sun. This process is called electrolysis. It uses an electric current to separate hydrogen from oxygen in the water. Hydrogen is seeing a push from the government because of its use in industries like oil refineries, fertilizer plants, and steel units. Seeing its potential, several public and private sector oil and gas majors have announced plans to foray into green hydrogen production. For example, the Indian Oil Corporation plans to set up production units at its Mathura and Panipat refineries to produce a total of 7,000 metric tons of green hydrogen per annum. Similarly, the Gas Authority of India Limited plans to build a facility over the next year and produce 4.5 tons of green hydrogen per day. Reliance Industries will invest $10 billion and plans to build a gigafactory to manufacture electrolyzers. The Adani Group plans to invest $70 billion and wants to emerge as the world's cheapest hydrogen producer. Power and New and Renewable Energy Minister Rajkumar Singh, at a discussion earlier this year on a TV channel, outlined the government's view.
For green hydrogen, there is already an emerging market, and this emerging market is huge. We see demand emerging from all over Europe and Japan, etc. And this demand will only multiply because all the developed countries have got into net zero, have given net zero targets.
India produces around 6.7 metric tons of hydrogen each year. According to the Energy and Resource Institute, the demand will reach 23 metric tons by 2050. The cost of producing hydrogen in India is currently between 340 and 400 rupees per kilogram. It is difficult for industries like steel and fertilizer to adopt the fuel at this costly rate. Experts say for that to happen, prices must come down to 150 rupees per kilogram. Under India's green hydrogen policy, the renewable energy used for hydrogen production will be free of surcharge and interstate transmission charges. In a TV discussion, energy analyst Jal Irani of Edelweiss Financial Services spelled out the future.
Hydrogen is going to be a completely new ecosystem where the existing infrastructure doesn't exist. And hence, towards that, to incentivize transportation, the government has firstly announced that interstate transmission charges will be waived for a period of 25 years for projects which are set up by June of 2025.
It's not just Indian corporate giants such as Reliance or Adani Group that are diversifying into green hydrogen. Because of India's geographic conditions and natural resources, state-owned oil companies in the United Arab Emirates, such as Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, have expressed interest in exploring hydrogen prospects with India's public and private sectors. Energy analyst Jal Irani said, "The future is India's for the taking."
India could potentially become the lowest cost producer of green hydrogen in the world. And in fact, in the longer term, I would perhaps even go on to saying it could become the Middle East of the world. But having said that, hydrogen is a difficult molecule to handle, and to export it has to be converted into ammonia. To facilitate sort of port facilities and hence exports, they've announced facilitating setting up of bunkers near port for storage, for which the port authorities will facilitate land.
Even for domestic use, green hydrogen can provide electricity and heat with zero pollutant emission. As the reality of climate change dawns on humanity, clean energy is undoubtedly the way forward. So the question is, not if, but when fossil fuel-powered technology such as automobiles switch to green sources such as hydrogen. On that note, this is your host Asma Rafat signing out for now. Do keep listening to the Times of India Gold podcast for more from beyond the headlines.